You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor. It's a
Hello,
case of
Your Honor.
Hayes versus Hayes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good day, everyone. Ms. Hayes, you say that your sister, the defendant, claims to have a child with your husband of 10 years, and you have petitioned the court for a paternity test. And you are here to warn her that when he finds out her baby is not his today, she'll probably never hear from him again. Now, Ms. Hayes, you state that your sister is just jealous that you were able to have her husband's baby and she was not.
Right.
You have no doubts that your sister's husband is your baby's father, and when you leave here today, you want her out of your lives for good.
Yes.
Ms. Hayes, how did your sister steal your husband?
I came home and found him and her in our bed naked, and I just, I can't believe it after everything I've done for her. I knew that they were sleeping together, but to put it in my face and be in my bed and me walk in and catch them naked, why would it be any different? She slept with my first husband and my second husband. And I didn't even know about my second husband until my dad
And she had
told
me around each of them in the same predicament.
So you're not denying this,
No.
Ms. Hayes? Just so the court can clarify, this was your younger sister?
Yes. I've had custody of this girl since she was 11. The choices that she made between our dad and her mom led her into drugs, prostitution, everything else. The latest time that I rescued you, I helped you get clean.
Yes, Your Honor,
I went
she
to
did.
Chicago after not hearing from her for 7 years. The one time I did hear from her, she didn't even know who I was on the phone. I got to Chicago at 11 o'clock on a Saturday. She walks up to me and she weighs 56 pounds, has sores all over her, and has no shoes on. We left Chicago at 3 o'clock Sunday morning. I'm getting her dressed. I'm putting clothes on this child to take her back to Houston with me.
I lost control of my life, myself, my morals, everything. And when I got clean,
got you every time you picked up a phone
when I
and
got
called.
clean, I had been
Who
an
was there
addict
for
and
you? It
homeless
wasn't
for
your dad.
15
It
years.
wasn't your mom.
And I
It
didn't
was
know
me.
how to be
It was the
respectful.
same
I didn't know
person
how
that
to be a
took care of
woman.
you.
I didn't know how to be a lady. I didn't know how to respect myself. And it doesn't come overnight. And I did go to detox for a week. And when all this came about, I didn't go to my sister and say, I need sex or I feel lonely. We used to hang out in her room together, watch movies, whatever we would do.
So you guys, first you got along. You were
Yeah.
sisters.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And so everything was great. We would live together, hang out together. I would hang out in her room, watch movies.
And at the same time, she's lying to him about things that I'm doing to get me and him to argue so him and her can go off and spend
at some
time
point,
together.
she says, Corey, make my sister feel like a woman. I'm sorry. Maybe she did it for my best
He
interest.
came to me,
Yeah.
and I said, do what you do. But anybody that was respectful would have said,
I just said
you're
I didn't
my
know how to
sister's
respect
husband.
myself.
Well, anybody
And I
that
can
was
admit that.
respectful would have said, that's
Okay.
my sister's
Now you're playing the
husband.
victim, but you gave him away.
It's not about the victim.
Okay.
It's not about being the victim. You are one in a line of many. And let me say that
Ms. Hayes, let's use proper language in the court, okay? I need clarification on something, particularly the line, do what you do. Does that mean that you looked your husband in the eye and gave him permission to sleep with your sister?
Yes. Why?
And now it's a problem.
I had been with him for 10 years.
Right.
She is probably about number 35 of the women that he'd been with.
They also had an open relationship where Michelle has invited people, like on Corey's birthday, invited other women over to
was
be
a
a part
stripper.
of
Yep,
that.
there was.
They had an open relationship
There
like
was
that.
a stripper. It
So,
wasn't
yeah.
open. It wasn't an open relationship. There was a stripper that came to the house.
Okay. When her husband then approaches you, is there any part of you that just says, this woman has done a lot for me? That's one thing I'm just not gonna do.
I tell her today that I'm still grateful for her. I did not go about our relationship the right way. Again, I was on drugs 15 years, so within a year's time, I didn't have everything perfected.
Michelle, I completely understand all that you've done for your sister. I mean, when you enumerate out the lengths, the things that you've done to make sure pretty much that she's standing here today, I think it's commendable. And you've done what a sister should do. The part I cannot understand, it sounds like to me, as crazy as it is,
The best thing
that you gave them permission.
The best thing she ever did for me is take him away from me.
Now, Ms. Hayes, I have to ask you, why do you believe if you've let them go off into the sunset, into this relationship, and you know they're together, why do you think he's not the father?
He has a 6-year-old son. Well, actually, he's older than 6 now. And he raised a son that he believed was his for 6 years. Went to court, found out it wasn't his. He don't have nothing to do with him. He has a girl in Dallas now that says she has a baby by him. He won't go take the DNA test. And along with the numerous other women that always say they're pregnant, what makes you so special?
Why would anybody want to have
And ask her
Corey's
about
baby?
how they
He's
got
not
the
a
baby.
millionaire. He's not a millionaire. It's not like I'm going to get a lot of
Because-
child support. What do you think I want from him? It ain't his money.
Are you saying to the court that you feel he's unable
No,
to
she's
have
not
children,
done with
physically
him, and she
unable?
hopes that Kayla's not his
If I
baby.
wanted him, when he came up to me and asked me to sleep with him, I could have.
Oh, and when was that?
I didn't want
when
to.
was that?
Months
Okay,
ago,
and
I told you about
let me bring up this. My sister.
So, Ms. Hayes, I have to ask you, is the reason why you think he's not the father of your sister's child because you think he's not able to have children?
Yes, ma'am.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Ms. Hayes, I have to ask you, is the reason why you think he's not the father of your sister's child because you think he's not able to have children?
Yes.
She told
Part
him
of
that
it.
she's got more than he does, that he's not a man.
I do.
Wow. What I want to impress upon you ladies as you argue like sisters is that really it's
Look
not
at her.
about you.
Look at my baby.
It's about that beautiful little baby.
When Shauna was pregnant, who
She
was
bought
there
her
for you?
everything. She bought my baby everything. And for
that
somebody
baby
who
needed.
hated me and her ex-husband, her husband, out of
It wasn't
spite,
about you
why would
or him,
they
it was
buy
about
my
her.
baby everything?
It was,
this
you know,
is
your own
confusing
dad
to me.
didn't
I'm like,
want you to have a
I'm
baby
pulled
shower
both ways. This doesn't
because he
make
was
sense. I didn't have a
disrespected.
baby shower.
I know.
Everything I got were blessings from
Because
different
I
people.
bought it.
Not just you.
Let's have some order, ladies. It's a beautiful, beautiful little girl. And no matter what the paternity issue is, we know one thing's for certain. You're her aunt.
And I haven't seen her in months.
And I see that you're emotional about that because you obviously love her.
You know, it's always that I'm kidnapping her.
Last time she came over, we had company and we had a roommate. So she followed my roommate in one
Who's
day.
the we having the roommate?
Corey and I.
Okay, that's who I want to meet. I
Okay,
want
let's
to
bring
meet
him in.
Mr. Hill. Jerome, can you please go and escort Mr. Hill into the courtroom, please? It's time for me to hear from him. Mr. Hill, please stand at the podium. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here today. So, there are questions that you may not be this beautiful little girl's father. Now, are you also in question about that?
Yes, ma'am. I'm not gonna lie. Deep down inside, I do have some doubts, and that is because I've been through this situation twice before. I took care of a child for 5 years. He's 15-year-old now, and took the DNA test. He wasn't mine.
Okay,
just been
I
together
want
for 2
to
years.
focus my attention on
I've been with Corey
this
since little Corey was
child.
6.
So, are you on the birth certificate?
Unfortunately, no, I'm
No,
not.
he wouldn't sign it.
He had to
that's
go to
that's
work.
not the case, ma'am.
He wouldn't. He was at the hospital every day and could have signed it at any time. It didn't have to be that particular day at that particular
Why
time.
didn't
That's
you
not
sign the
true.
birth certificate?
I had to be to work within an hour. They came down for her to sign the papers. By the time they would go up and get the papers for me to sign, I would have already been at work.
He had to
You
take-
were in and out. Now, how old is the baby?
Almost 11 months.
Almost 11 months
Yes, ma'am.
old. So in 11 months, you never take it upon yourself to make arrangements to sign that birth certificate? You never take it upon yourself to make arrangements to sign that birth certificate?
Not true again. Not true again.
Tell me.
This is the deal. They gave us paperwork that we could mail in after we signed it. We did that. In the allotted time, they give you 30 days to do it. We did that. Unfortunately, for some unordinary reason that I don't know of, we were not. They didn't get the
Intervention.
paper, and
Man above.
we went
that you
downtown to
believe
the
so much
county
in.
to follow up on it. They never got it. So I mean, that's what happened as far as with me not signing the birth certificate.
So that's
Bogus, because she was in the hospital after she had Kayla. Kayla was in the hospital for a month after they had her. They could have done it. Yes, he had to work. He only works like 3 or 4 days a week. Where's the other 3 or 4 days? What's he doing? Up there with her.
We didn't have a car.
24/7. He was with
'Cause you
you
took it.
24/7.
And Mr. Hill, you have also told this court that there have been 2 different instances where you believe children to be yours, and then you find out later that they were not.
Yes, ma'am. As I stated before, there was a little boy, he's 15 years old. There's a little girl, she's 7 years old. We took a DNA sample. That is the truth. I actually
For
showed.
the girl, that's the truth.
Let me stay on this issue. You also stated to the court, Ms. Hayes, that in all the years that you were together with Mr. Hill, he never got you pregnant.
No. And the
Okay,
other
right.
25 women that he carried on with for long-term relationships.
No, you just jealous of us and you want to take the baby.
I
That's
am-
what that is.
I don't want your baby. I don't
Okay.
want Kayla.
I didn't say you wanted to have the baby. I said you wanted to have the baby taken from us. It's proven by your actions.
Really?
Yes.
Have I called CPS on you?
yeah.
You,
She came
you
in and
threatened
picked my
me.
baby up
You-
because we were outside on the patio.
I
My
sure
baby
did.
was.
Her premature baby was
And she
on the
picked my
couch
baby
by
up.
herself.
Family
I need
doesn't
order.
save you and then dog you out. She called his job after we changed our numbers just to tell him that Kayla doesn't look like him.
This is going all over the place, and we're getting nowhere. I'm supposed to be looking at family.
Yep.
And it would seem as if you 2 don't get along. I mean, you could be strangers on the street and be arguing like this. Now, you all are adults. You can mess up your life. You can not get along. You can be immature. But at some point, it affects her. And you got to get it together. What is the emotion you're feeling, Ms. Hayes?
You know, you sit there and you say family don't save you and dog you out. You're right. They
That's
still
why I
don't.
turn to God. That's the only hope I have. God has brought me a long way, and I'm very
Preach
grateful.
Christ all you want. At the end of the day, you're full of it.
Well, I'm sorry you don't know him like
At
I'm
the
trying
end
to
of the
know
day,
him.
and the person that, you know.
Now, it's about boundaries, though. And I am not hearing where, with everything that's happened with you 2, where you have created some reasonably safe boundaries, like, okay, I'm okay that you're with my ex-husband now, but this is what we need to
it's
do.
not about
I'm
a
fighting
man.
for my baby.
It's not, trust me, and it ain't about him.
So
I'm married to
this
somebody
isn't-
else.
so now
and-
you're
And
married to
why don't
someone
you
else.
divorce him? No, just because?
Just because.
That's great. That's
Wait.
an upstanding deal.
You're married to somebody else, but you haven't divorced him?
Right, right.
That doesn't
Seems
sound
like everybody's
legal.
up to something, huh?
Okay. I want to give you both some words of advisement and encouragement, because I looked at a beautiful little girl on this screen, and all I can think is she deserves more than this.
She deserves family. She shouldn't just have to be around them 2.
At the end of the day, this court is concerned with the best interest of this child. I think it's time to reveal the
Please,
results. Jerome, please pass me the results. Thank you. Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. I think it's time to reveal the
Please,
results. When it comes to ten-month-old Kayla, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Hill, you are her her father.
I just want to say what I was back then, I'm not today. And everybody needs a time frame to grow and get better. And I'm sorry that I didn't make the right decisions, but I'm doing the best I can. And if God provided us with this blessing, I'm going to do my best.
Good. Mr. Hill?
Your Honor, I would just like to say that I hope that in the near future that they can mend their relationship, because at the end of the day, I never wanted to break two sisters apart, separate them, or have them feeling the way they feel right now. And that's just who I am and how I feel.
I commend you for taking responsibility for what you feel your part was in this. Now, Ms. Hayes, Michelle, you've said that you've moved on, and I am hoping now that you will have a sense of closure and maybe be able to form a relationship with your sister that can exist outside of just this man, but just between sisters. And you now know that she wasn't lying. Mr. Hill is the father. Can you accept that? Can you move forward? Ms. Hayes, I want you to keep doing the right things, minute to minute, day by day, week by week, month by month, one day at a time. You've been to hell and back. But the most important word I just said is back. You're back. And if you never thought you had anything to live for,
She's what keeps me going.
the court will provide you with drug counseling resources so that you can continue your healing. You must do this. And Mr. Hill, you must sign that birth certificate. Court is adjourned.
I hope to see her and let her see Kayla and be a part of her life so she can know all she's done for her.
I don't feel like my sister and I can grow from this or go anywhere from this. I think it's pretty much done.
When Judge Lake told me the baby was mine, I was overjoyed. It's an unexplainable feeling. I was just happy. I cried, and I just felt happy that for once, after going through what I've been through, I actually have a child.
It's sad, you know, because I need a break.